Hey, this is Mike Rager with Teach Your Business to Fish. We're back. Sorry about those technical difficulties. We're going to get back to Dave in a little bit, but I've got my second guest here, Mr. Lee Winkelman with Hopkins-centric Winkelman and Drucker.
PLLC, very good.
I got it right this time. Is one of the best business attorneys in town. So Lee, tell me a little bit about the firm. You guys, are relatively new. What made you guys decide to start a firm?
So we're up in the Woodlands. We service sort of all the Houston area and that sort of thing. But unique to the Woodlands area, we needed there was a need for kind of a full service law firm. And there really is only a couple. And we had all worked with several other people before, and our partners kind of had fallen off, and we all knew one another, and we just decided it was a good time to partner up. So
it was kind of buddies getting together.
It was just time. It's God's timing. And I mean, you asked me, I can just say it's God's timing. That's all I can say. So
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Now you guys specialize in business law, right? You know, there's a lot of stuff helping people. So one of the main things that I look at is getting businesses formed correctly.
Yes.
What's the most important thing about getting a business formed correctly that you see?
Well, the first thing you need to know is entity selection, right? So, and I'll tell you, this isn't my partner Joe Centric is the expert on this, but in terms of whether or not you want to start up a business as an LLC, as a corporation, or what have you, these are all liability. They shield you from liability, right? That's the idea. The idea is you don't want to be liable for the debts of your company.
Right.
That's really what this boils down to. So the law allows these sort of fictional entities to stand in and bear the liability. Your entity choice is going to depend on your taxation situation and different things like that, your needs. But for example, like an LLC is a very popular form of a company. Offers like pass through taxation, some taxation benefits. So. Yeah, no, it's there's a lot that goes into it, but basically it's your needs. What do you need?
Isn't it important? A lot of businesses, they never think they're going to break out. They're never going to, it's kind of like dating. We never think we're going to split up. We get married. We never think we're going to get divorced. But forming a business the right way up front really, if things do not go well, really protects you, doesn't it?
Exactly. So imagine that you start up a business and you're going to run it as a sole proprietor, okay? And that just means that this is me, and I also sell things for a business, basically. So I have, I'm self-employed, let's say, kind of an independent contractor type. If you start down that road and you start entering into contracts and leases and basically taking on liabilities, right? Okay. There is no separation between your own personal assets and the company's assets at that point. So, your own personal things are not protected. However, if you start off and you've signed all this, because I've seen this happen. I've seen some people go from a proprietorship to a business to an LLC, and they still have stuff that's signed from when they were a sole proprietor, and they get popped for it. So, it's sort of like look, if you think of a business as a building, okay, it's your foundation, it's your slab, it's your, what have you. It's the things that everything else is built on in terms of your legal structure.
It's important because I see it all the time. I see businesses that get to a point, and I know you have. We were out fishing together, a week or so ago, and we talked a lot of business stories. And we see business owners that think that everything's going to go well, and then crap hits the fan, and now they start blaming each other. We're splitting up. We're divorcing. Yeah. And we need to do this, and it's really important to do that because I got some of my clients right now that are starting their business. They're starting to grow. Right. And I'm like, okay, guys, what does your lawyer say about this? And they go, what do you mean? They're $400 an hour.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you. Who needs a lawyer? Yeah, no, it's look, it's sort of. All I'll say is the legal advice you don't pay for is worth about probably that much to you, that much value to you. Okay, at the end of the day, your own sort of gut feelings or what you've heard or this must be right, and those sorts of things. Those don't get you too far. I think. People, there's a great saying, no one likes lawyers until they need one. Right. Okay. The problem is people I don't think realize how often they need lawyers or how often lawyers are helpful. If you have a lawyer involved in your company looking over things, making sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, you're going to really greatly reduce your risk of potential lawsuits down the road or liability for something or something going wrong. It's at the end of the day, having a lawyer is all about sort of risk management. You want to minimize the risks of liability. You want to minimize the risks of some deal going bad. So you have a lawyer work with you on a contract, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's nobody wants to go pay our lawyer $400 an hour or whatever you guys charge. I've had those lawyers. But the thing is like you said, when we need them, we need them.
Right.
And it's way easier. It's way better to need them up front and anticipate.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you this. What you do not want to be in is a situation where you need a lawyer and don't have one.
Yeah.
Because then you're sort of like, you've not vetted anybody. It's an emergency, right? So you're sort of stuck with whoever. You might have time to talk to a couple, but you're not going to have, I think, you're not going to be as good a situation if you have a established relationship with a lawyer and like, this is my lawyer. This is who I call for everything. Those types of things. Somebody that knows your business.
What kind of things as a business owner should I talk to you about? If you're my lawyer, what do I talk to you about?
So if you have any sort of contracts that you're entering into with respect to your business, so let's say you make widgets, okay? You have purchase orders, you have invoices, et cetera. Those things probably have terms on them, okay? Those things create contracts for the sale of these goods, for example. And they'll deal with things such as, maybe even set where you have to sue if there's a lawsuit. We'll limit your damages. We'll require you to indemnify the other part. There's a lot of stuff that goes in there that you probably don't even read. It's fine print. It's boilerplate, literally. Most business owners probably don't even know what that stuff says, okay? It's important to have a lawyer go through those things, make sure that the provisions that are in there that you need, the ones that are out that you don't need, and if you're negotiating contracts for a big project or something like that, you definitely need to have a lawyer look at those things. You should really have a lawyer look at all of your, really just your in any policies that deal with your compliance with the law. Okay. So, for example, I do a fair amount of employment law. That's a hugely regulated area, and it's important that clients understand the employment laws themselves. Okay, and make sure they're complying with those laws. Especially now, there's a bunch of been many changes in the pipeline. Let me put it that way.
Well, ignorance is not no
excuse, right?
Not an excuse.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. That This is one of those things where I think a business owner, I think we're all just really lucky, honestly. We go through things where, by the grace of God, we don't end up reaping the consequences of our actions that were probably dumb and didn't. We have mercy, those sorts of things. I think that happens probably far too often or far too much, and then it's just one of those deals where the one time that it doesn't fall in your favor, you end up with a $1 million lawsuit or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the idea would be that in the law, the saying an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, it's probably worth a ton of cure because lawsuits are so expensive. And just having a lawyer read over your stuff, making sure you're in a good position. Even, if a client wants to fire an employee, and just wants to call me and talk it through for 20 minutes, that's a good idea. Let me ask you, you might not have realized that these are things you need to be on the lookout for.
Yeah. I just had a client that we're doing with it, and he's going through that right now. He's going to let an employee go.
Right.
And, he goes, what should I do? And I go, before you do anything, just talk to your attorney. I said, you got one? He goes, yeah, I do. We got him. Just get on the horn and just talk to him. You don't want to do anything wrong.
Right. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. I have had way too many lawsuits brought to me, and even I've had clients that will have tried to even handle a lawsuit for in any event. It is inevitably 50,000 times worse off than had I been involved from the get-go. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of like you then end up spending so much more money to untangle the knot that you've created. Okay, it's not. You would have been better off if you had just had spent $200 to have a lawyer look at it.
Yeah,
to begin with.
No, I know. We talked about some when we were out fishing. We talked about some of those things. It's amazing. Yeah. Well, let me turn the page a little bit. Okay, so you're just not Lee Winkelman, the lawyer.
No,
you're Lee Winkelman, the Instagram sensation.
Yeah, I guess that would be Wink Esquire. Actually.
Okay, Wink Esquire.
Yeah.
ESQ is the we got 3 minutes to talk about this. So tell us about your other business and what you do.
Yeah, so no, I do I do personal training on the side. So and I guess you would call it influencer type stuff. I mean, I don't have a ton of followers, but I think I've got close to 20, maybe 18, something like that. But in any event, I do personal training and nutrition coaching and those sorts of things kind of on the side through that avenue as well. That has been a really eye-opening experience and really client service with my clients as that my legal clients. It's a great crossover. It's a really good learning ground to when you're taking care of a personal training client, you're really trying to you make their life better, right? I mean, you see these tangible results of how their lives are getting better. And I think that there's been a lot that as a lawyer I've been able to pull into my relationships with my my legal clients, right?
Right.
So I really want to be, that lawyer that the client calls if they want a recommendation for a restaurant,
Right.
or just trust what I say and that and sees me as someone who adds value to their lives and somebody that they want their advice.
Well, lawyers are trusted advisors. I tell all my clients, three you really need. You need a lawyer, you need a banker, and you need a CPA.
Right.
I mean, those are three key. If you're in business, you need it. So, we got about a minute and a half. Lee, tell people how they could get a hold of you.
Yeah, sure. So again, the firm is Hopkins, Centric, Winkelman, and Drucker. We're in the Woodlands, but I have clients all over the country. Our website is hopkinscentric.com. That's probably the best place to look us up. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Your trusted legal advisors. There you go. Check us out there. My bio's on that page. You can learn a little about me. We are a full service law firm. We do all the litigation, all the transactional stuff. We even do some family law, wills and stuff like that. So we try to be a one-stop shop for our clients.
Well, it's a nice thing with having a firm. You got so many people that you can have in that different specialties under one roof,
right?
To really get people through that. Okay, so one thing we went fishing a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
You caught some big ass fish.
I did.
What was the one thing you learned on that trip?
Oh man. Okay, this is actually epic. I was sitting on the bow of the boat, okay, for a long time as the boat was going through the waves. Okay, that experience, we did that for a really long time, and you have to do that, you have to sort of become one with the boat, okay?
Right.
Literally, it sounds silly, but you do. You have to move with the flow, and that was a great analogy for me with life, okay? That, you're going to sort of raise and fall with the waves, but you have to sort of stay steady, right? So that was probably something I didn't see coming, but it was a really great experience, a really great lesson. So,
oh man, that was awesome. I had a great time with you, Lee. Thank you very much. If you guys need a great lawyer, look up Lee and his partners. They'd love to help you out. Here in the Houston area and nationwide. Thanks,
great.
Lee. I appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.